Proficient Profanity. I'm your host, Carter, joined by Bubba.
Hey, what's up, Carter? Yo, Bruce Lee was fast, but he had a brother that was faster.
Who is
Suddenly.
it? See, that's a solid joke, man. I love that. I love that. Let's
Dude, I love me a good joke.
let's go let's give a little rundown of what we're going to talk about today and what's on our mind today. I got a few things I wanted to talk about. Better Call Saul, the finale that's coming out. By the time this comes out, it'll already came through and went. A lot of people know about Better Call Saul. It's the prequel to Breaking Bad. We can discuss that a little bit. I actually want to talk to you about what games you've been playing lately, man. What's going on in that area of the woods for you? Talk about gamescom opening night. A lot of new games got announced, so we can go over those. And I know you had a lot of things that you wanted to discuss as well. You want to give the audience a little tidbit of that?
Yeah, man, I've got some heart-filled things with some puppy dogs, some animals and stuff that I saw that are just blowing my mind out there, bro. The United States is something. It is a melting pot of more than just people, but personalities, dude. Just some pretty cool stuff that I've seen around, some funny lines I've seen, and we'll definitely be pulling some from Reddit, my favorite place on the internet.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. A long time Reddit lurker myself ever since those high school days, all those years ago. But I think we should jump right in and start, man. What's your favorite video game that you're playing currently? Like, what's got you hook, line, and sinker?
Man, it's a hard toss up between two very different styles of games for me. You know, I love my Smite, my MOBAs. You know,
Yes, sir.
Started out in League of Legends. Didn't really like the camera, but I love the play and the openness feel of Smite. So that's one of my favorite MOBAs to play. And then my other one that I have actually achieved over 20 years of playing this game consecutively, RuneScape.
Yo.
It's an MMORPG, more like World of Warcraft, but a little bit more grindy, a little bit harder to do, a lot to it, vast worlds, and I just get so sucked into that stuff, man. I love a good MMORPG.
So I've never played RuneScape, but I know from everyone that I've talked to that's played it, it's one of those games that you play for, like, you get on the grind and you really get on there and you grind it, and then you stop playing and you come back and you just go again. Is that like that for you?
I definitely, so like when I joined the army, right, there was, I mean, a good 4 to 5 years, you know, prior to and after from me being in the army that I just never touched it and came back and knocked out, maxing out some skills. It's set more of that medieval Renaissance time frame, and you're battling monsters and you're grinding up skills. It's all about efficiency. How fast can you level? What can you level? What gear and equipment can you make things more fun with? And you get your friends in on it, and you're grinding up your money stack and your armor, and you're getting everything set. It is so massive and immersive that it is just impossible to not just be completely disposed to that environment and just dive right in. I love it. I've enjoyed it for over 20 years now, and I keep going back, dude.
See, that's what I love with games, man. I love when you can become fully immersed in it. You know what I mean? Like you get so immersed that you just tune everything out, and you're existing in that moment, in that time, playing that game, just having an absolute blast. That's when, to me, I think a game is really just nailing it. You know, I would definitely agree.
Dude,
But
I mean, I spend maybe $100 a year on the membership, right? And you're like, oh wow, $100, like whoa, hold up. That's like, well, think about this. I could go to a bar in one night, easily spend $200. Drinks for me, my
easily.
wife, having fun. You know, maybe I buy a shot for my buddy. We're just feeling it. So like, we're having drinks, and that's maybe let's stretch it out. Let's say we're really partying, 8 freaking hours of fun for $200, right? Like great nights and memories. $100 in a year, and I can easily pack in hours within a year of gameplay, just having fun, messing around. And that's a bit extreme, but like that is the example of like your return on that money. For the same $100, I can have a full year of doing things. So like when you start thinking about that, like, I played this Call of Duty game, $60, I hated it, 10 hours, or more realistically, Battlefield 2042, biggest waste of fucking $60 I've ever seen in my life, right? But then you have
That one
Battlefield
hurts.
1 and 4 that years later I'm still going back and playing them. Like, I love them.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you kind of do some research, you get out of it what you put into it, for me.
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. And it's always good to see that you actually get value out of your money for what you pay for, because so many times, especially as you get older, I feel like you buy a game, you play it, and then never touch it again. But to have something that you really truly enjoy playing and keep coming back to, I'm like that. And I know you mentioned it already with Smite Boy. I played it when I was in high school and college, set it down for a while, and came back in 2019, and it's just had me hook, line, and sinker for a while. So we've just been on that grind on it. I'm really enjoying it.
I know. But you were telling me that obviously we've had gamescom announcing some games, and we've got an amazing list. So I mean, I know we're kind of gearing towards games on this. What all's coming out? What can we expect from gamescom opening night live?
All right, so let me go ahead and hit on some of the big ones that have. This is coming directly from IGN. There is a lot to cover here, and we won't go over everything, but I think we'll cover some of the more well-known things, some of the things that have been rumors and floating around on the internet that people just want to hear about. Developer Build a Rocket Boy Games, which is a former lead developer from the GTA series, Leslie Benzies, has revealed a first look at a brand new IP called Everywhere. I watched the trailer for that. If you guys haven't seen that yet, this just got announced at Gamescom. Go check it out. Looks awesome. Very interesting. Graphically, stellar, man.
The game looks huge. It's like multiple worlds in it, man. Like, it looks massive. It's kind of got me curious.
It's gonna be very, very good. There is Dune. I'm not gonna go much into Dune just because I don't know much of Dune. I've never watched the movies or know anything about the lore of that. But there is a Dune Awakening. It just got a trailer at Gamescom coming out. So if you're a big Dune fan, be sure to check that out. One of the ones I really wanted to hit on, this isn't even a game. Sony reveals the DualSense Edge for the PlayStation 5. Now, I love the PlayStation controller. I've loved the PlayStation controllers growing up. Those are always my favorite. I never was a big Xbox player. The Xbox controllers were too big and too bulky for me. So I
was on the opposite side. Halo 2 came out. I was on the Xbox. That's what I was grinding, was those controllers. But man, when I play games like Rocket League, I really want that PlayStation controller. It feels like I have less drift. I have a smoother gameplay. I love the way it fits in my hand. I like it more for racing games too, specifically. I don't know. I feel like that's something that Sony is just absolutely controlling and dominating the market on. That controller is so smooth.
So the DualSense Edge is meant to be like an elite controller competitor for what Xbox has, with a lot of customizable functions on it. How you can remove buttons, add buttons, fully pull out the joysticks and replace them. And even though that Sony has gone with a larger controller scheme over the years, when they went with the PS4, they buffed up the controller then, and the PS5 is a little more buffed up. It's still not quite. I don't think it's
they had
quite
like the
as large.
haptic triggers and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I think on the new one, you can like map your buttons. There's buttons on the back and bottom of the thumbsticks that you can map as well, so you don't have to move your thumbs to crouch or reload or do those tertiary actions. Now you're just beating ass the whole time.
So
I'm about it, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody that's an old head like us will remember the days of playing Call of Duty Claw. If you
gotta play Claw, bro. I hate that handhold, bro. I hate that thing more than anything, but it works.
It did work. And to anyone that doesn't know what playing Claw is, if you were not around in the early Call of Duty days, look it up, because it was a style of playing with your controller meant to give you an advantage, but it was the most uncomfortable shit to play with. Your fingers had to be off.
Honestly, it feels like I'm trying to throw up a gang sign in cursive and then play a video game, bro. Like, what is that?
You were trying to throw up the bloods while you were playing Modern Warfare 2 back in the day.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a few other ones on here that I think we'll hit over. The Callisto Protocol got a new gameplay trailer coming out. To anyone that doesn't know what the Callisto Protocol is, it's from the Dead Space vein of genre.
Okay.
And man, it's been so long since we've had anything to do with Dead Space. Now, it is worth mentioning that the original Dead Space is being remade and looks phenomenal. But this is Definitely in the similar vein of stealth espionage type terror with aliens, and it looks like a spiritual successor to Dead Space. I do believe that Glenn Schofield is the co-creator of Dead Space, and he's working on this. I do believe that that is him as a part of this, which I think is really interesting. There's a few other ones on there that I was really wanted to hit on. Hogwarts Legacy, to anyone that's a big Harry Potter fan. Remember those Harry Potter games?
Ravenclaw, baby. That's my
Gryffindor.
house all day.
Do you remember the PS2 Harry Potter games? Do you remember those back in the day?
I do. I remember playing Quidditch on it, and I mean, how cool the graphics were back then to be able to fly. I mean, you go back now and it looks like you're playing like some up version of 1980s Minecraft, but you know, just like how we felt originally with Spider-Man 2 when it first came down, sitting on top of that Empire State Building, and then now what it's like today in the new Unreal Engine. Like, it is so amazing. Or even bigger games for me, like, you know, like Dark Souls and stuff like that, which we've got another game we'll cover on in kind of that Dark Souls realm that I'm really excited about. But man, did I love flying around as a wizard. I loved it, man.
So the Harry Potter game looks phenomenal. Graphically looks good. Gameplay wise, it looks good. It looks very intricate, very detailed. Looks like it's going to have a wide variety of spells from the Harry Potter universe in it. And it just looks like it's going to be a ton of fun to play. It's been a long time since I've been invested in Harry Potter, but it looks like it's worth the play. It really does.
There's like a Fable feel to it. So like as you go through the game, basically you'll be going through it and they will tempt you into using dark magic while at Hogwarts, which, surprise, surprise, doesn't end too well.
No,
so
that never does.
There's a pretty cool little kick to that one, man.
You know, the dark magic. What does that remind? What were those things called in Harry Potter? Dementors. You remember them things?
Oh, the Dementors. Yep. Like, now, suck the soul out of you, bro. Do that to me.
Now, another one that I really wanted to hit on, and I'm a big fan of this franchise, Tales from the Borderlands officially revealed. We're getting a second season of Tales from the Borderlands. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a spinoff, a direct offshoot. It looks like it's got a new cast of characters in it. Looks very interesting. The trailer for this involves a invasion from the gun manufacturer in universe for the Borderlands franchise known as TDR. So I'm going to be very excited to see where it goes from there. I'm a big fan of Borderlands. I liked Tales from the Borderlands, the originals. It's always good to see more Borderlands coming around. And
I love that art style too. You know, like it's aesthetically pleasing.
The cell shading, man, the cell shading. You know, there was a long time ago they revealed a clip or a segment of the game, the original Borderlands back in like 2008, and what it looked like before it was cell shaded. And it looked just like every other game, but when they switched to cell shading, it knocked it out of the park, and it gave it a totally unique feel that is to this day just so nostalgic. The last thing I wanted to cover on this list, well, actually take it back. There's one other before I forget that we were talking about being Souls-like, is The Lies of P. So this one is really interesting. We had actually just watched the trailer for this together because I found it so interesting. I was like, yo, Bubba, you got to see this, man. This shit looks awesome. And
it's crazy. It's like they took Dishonored and Dark Souls and smashed them into one with their Knights play. Oh my God, I can't wait.
It looks so good. Like the architecture is like steampunk Victorian era. It has like that Dishonored feel with the Dark Souls combat and the Dark Souls HUD. It just looks so good. And it's based on the story of Pinocchio. So this was why I was like, wait a minute. This is going to be
left turn. Pinocchio. Pinocchio.
Yes, that one. This one is going to be really, really good. Now, it's not a very long trailer. I believe it's around 3 minutes, but it packs a lot in that 3 minutes. A lot to unpack and a lot to digest in that. Definitely worth looking. Really heavily advise everyone to check that one out. The last one on here, of course, there's Genshin Impact. They've got some new things on here, but not big on Genshin, so I'm not going to claim I have all the higher power knowledge on that. But the long lost, almost forgotten to time, Dead Island 2 is finally coming.
Dead Island 2. It has been, what, 10 freaking years? It's been a decade
we've
been waiting for this, man.
It has been forever. And it feels like, so let me give everyone a little background history on this, because I was a huge Dead Island kid. I loved playing that. I loved if anybody is old enough to remember the original trailer for Dead Island, it was set to like a sad, like, I don't know, like a piano orchestral music. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but the whole trailer was shot in reverse. So the whole trailer is moving like backwards. So you start at the end point and then move back to the beginning. It's really cool, and it was so well ahead of its time, and the game was so fun. So Dead Island 2, to anyone that doesn't know, originally had an E3 trailer back in 2014. A lot of people might remember that when it was the guy jogging with the zombie, everybody turning into a zombie behind him and everything, and he just had his headphones in. Well, Dead Island, I believe they finally got their fourth developer after switching dev studios from Jaeger to Sumo Digital, to another, or possibly this might be the last one. Dam Buster Studios is the last one, I believe. And finally, by the time this game comes out, it'll have been 10 years. So we're finally getting it. And it's set in a mid-outbreak Los Angeles, which is just, man, I'm already
LA,
hyped.
man. I'm telling you, if a zombie outbreak does happen, it's got to happen in LA. Like, there's too many side stories. There's actually something kind of squeaking its way through, you know, with all the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard stuff going on that I was actually super excited about. No, it's not Johnny Depp returning to Disney. That was totally turned down. Super sad about that, because I am a huge Pirates of the Caribbean nerd, bro. I'm a huge nerd to it. But the game makers are making a game, and there is like a 2-minute trailer coming out called Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale. You get to go back to Tortuga, which is where they were in Pirates of the Caribbean for one of the movies. It's a massive area where they go up, all the pirates meet, they party, they do their thing. But you actually get to go there. It's a very brief trailer, like I said, about 2 minutes. And it was released during opening night live. Now, not a lot is actually really known about it yet, minus the title and this trailer. But what we do have confirmed is it's in development for all 3 systems, meaning PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Dude, if I get the chance to go to Tortuga and get my Captain Jack Sparrow on, brother, I'm freaking there.
See, I love, so this, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me, not in the vein, but just the place. I remember Valheim, where you could get on your ship and sail around in Valheim. It wasn't to this degree. It's not no Sea of Thieves or anything like that. But this looks very, very interesting. I like pirates. I'm with you. I like pirates. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's going to be very interesting.
Me some pirates, dude. Rum and show me the booty. I'm there, baby, dude. But I'm here to pillage and plunder.
I think it's going to be very good. I do think it'll be very good. But speaking on some other topics, Bubba, I think we had some things that we wanted to cut on with police dogs. I know you had mentioned that earlier to me.
Puppy dogs, man. I tell you what, one of the things that I always like love seeing is it's one of those like jerkers that gets me every time, you know, like the military coming home movies where the loved one's hiding somewhere and then they realize they're in the room, they're home. Like that feeling of being home again and being with your family. Like that is so freaking cool to me. And I watched a video earlier of a police dog signing off, and man, that just pulls at my heart. So that kind of led me to like a puppy meme theme that I wanted to kind of get on. So today, while I was perusing my lovely Reddit realm of amazing content, I came across this awesome little nugget. So essentially, there was a 12-year-old and 11.5-year-old berner, like one of those kind of sheepdog looking dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of only had a couple days left. And so the owners of the puppy basically reached out. They're all puppies to me. I know she's 12, but she's still a puppy to me.
Still a puppy. That's how I'm with my dog. Still a puppy. You grown, but you still my little baby.
He's still my babies. Exactly, dude. The happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But basically, she was 12 years old and she loves snow, but she only had a couple days left. They knew it. It was kind of going downhill. Super bummer. But they just kind of reached out asking if any like rinks in the area knew or had some snow or anything. And Bonus Sportsplex immediately started dumping snow outside and she got her last snow fix, being able to enjoy and play and roll in it. She did pass a few hours after that, but the community came out just to give her her last little bit of snow before she went to, doggy heaven, man. Like that was just so cool, man. She got her little slice of heaven right there, man. Got to enjoy it. 12 good years on this earth.
That is incredibly kind. And I have 2 dogs, and I give everything for my dogs. Those are my babies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Not everyone's an animal person, and I can understand that, but to anyone that is an animal person, man, those are your babies. Cats, dogs, doesn't matter what you got.
Family. Like you want to give them everything. And for her to have that snow on her way out, like thank you,
so
bonus
sweet.
sports flex. Like they may never even hear this podcast, but how freaking cool was it for them to do that? They got all that snow that they got from the rinks and got her some to play. And like that was
that is incredibly kind. That it warms your heart, It really does to see some good deeds when all we see a lot of the times is bad deeds. So it's
have
nice to
you
see.
ever like gone to a dog park and like had some small dogs run up, like, oh, it's so cute. Then that big motherfucker comes out of nowhere and is like, I want to play. And you're like, whoa, it scares the out of you.
Them big old boys. Yes, sir.
Them big suckers, right? I'm not talking just German Shepherds either. Like them big, like, God, what are they called? Mastiffs, like bull mastiffs and stuff. Like them big suckers come at you, which I was terrified of those since the Sandlot. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember
that. That was when I became scared of mastiffs. Now I know that they're just big babies and they just love being held. Well, there was a diver, and I think it was down in Florida. That's what it really looked like. Love my Florida. But he was just diving, messing around, and he gets his buddy to come over, right? And they're swimming under the water, and he has him pick up this, what looks like a log kind of thing. And as he grabs, it is the mouth to a 15-foot alligator.
Ooh.
A 15-foot alligator. He pranked him by having him grab the mouth. So like the video keeps going on. I'm thinking like this dude's totally going to get ate. The gator was just chilling there, and they had like some fish or whatever. I don't know what they were doing, but they would like give it to the alligator underwater and stuff. And it was just chilling with them. It was just cool. Not me, dude. I'd have been out of that water quicker than a cat in a bathtub, man. No way.
Definitely not. No,
15-foot
definitely not.
alligator? Come on, dude.
I'm not with anything that can kill me and or eat me. No, not happening.
Dude, I got something worse for you then. Check this out. So these fishermen are out off the coast of New Zealand, right?
Yep.
And they're fishing, and up in their nets, they start towing in their fishing nets. The whole boat's going sideways.
Holy
But this net is how they make their living. So they have got to get this net in. They get it in, and it turns out they found a 26-foot long, 26 feet, 26-foot long, 1,089-pound colossal squid.
That's scary, bro. What's that movie? What's that movie with the giant squid that like eats people? I don't know. I have like a...
Well, every pirate movie has like a kraken.
Yeah. There's no...
squid.
God, it's like a sci-fi movie. I can't think of it. It's off topic. But anyway, the point is I don't with squids, man. Them things, too many arms, too big, too scary. No.
26 feet. That thing was big enough to wrap its tentacles around that entire ship twice.
Yeah, no
freaking way. Which, to give you kind of an example of how massive this is, the previous largest ever found, and this one was a male, the previous largest one ever found was a 660-pound female. And they just hauled up a 1,000-pound, 26-foot long squid.
So what did they do with it?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no clue what they wound up doing with it. It was just like they had pulled it up on the ship. I assume them being fishermen, they probably made some awesome like squid bites or something. I don't know. I fucks with calamari. I don't know about you. I love me some good calamari, but a 26-foot long calamari would like feed a family of 10. So I mean, I don't know. A lot of food there. I'd use it for food. What about you?
I don't know.
Plus, can't their ink be used for like medicine and stuff like that? Like, isn't that
yeah, I think there's some medicinal purposes that you can use squid parts for. I do believe that. I mean, medicine's made out of everything on the planet at this point, but
I'm saying.
Yeah,
from dandelions to 26-foot long squid. I tell you what, though, I find a squid in my yard and we're gonna have some issues.
Yes, sir. So there's one other thing I wanted to cover. We had mentioned it earlier, was the Better Call Saul. To anyone that is familiar with Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul universe, that show is wrapping up and finishing. So I'm not going to lie to you. I stopped watching Better Call Saul in like season 3, midway through season 4, because so here's the thing to anyone that has not seen the show. It is if you've watched Breaking Bad, then chances are you're going to have a very familiar understanding with the show. But if you haven't watched the show, it's about a guy who is a lawyer, a failing lawyer, gets kicked out of his firm, kind of is like blackballed, and then starts going into the crooked business of shady dealings, and kind of transforms into a sleazy lawyer known as Saul Goodman, which is the character that you inevitably see in Breaking Bad all those years ago. But the way they do this is very slow compared to Breaking Bad. And not that that's a bad thing, it just wasn't for me. It just like, I remember watching it, I remember watching the episodes and thinking, I've watched the show for like 30 minutes and ain't a thing interesting happened. And it wasn't,
it's like
because
it takes forever for the story to progress, right?
For sure.
Like there's stuff happening, but you got to watch a whole episode for the story to advance the smallest amount.
It was about setting a lot of plot points and seeds, because it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. So most of the show takes place before Breaking Bad, but it's just like, man, like, and I get it. It's not meant to be the same thing as Breaking Bad. It's meant to be an offshoot in the same like canonical universe as the show. But I'm just like, I remember thinking, this is slow. But anyway, the point bringing up is season 6 dropped, and the show's finally wrapping up, which it kind of blows my mind that this is a prequel show that has more episodes and more seasons than the actual main show it was based around, which I think is kind of wild. That's
crazy.
To me, that it got a whole extra season. Anyway,
I've never seen that before.
Season 6 of the show ended up being significantly more faster paced, with a lot more interesting things taking place in it than previous ones. I haven't watched all of season 6, but I've watched a good bit of it, and there's a lot of surprising things, some things that you can see coming and others not. And I remember there's Reddit loves to discuss this show as it was popping up on the last couple episodes. It was constantly on Reddit. But it wraps up a lot of points, because some of it does take place after Breaking Bad. Spoilers to if anyone hasn't seen Breaking Bad, but some of it does take place after that. But it talks about basically the transformation of this guy who was trying to be a lawyer into a sleazy, crooked con man kind of thing, with a moral gray shade and a lot of questionable actions, which if you're familiar with, gray areas, tons of gray areas. If you're not familiar with the show, it might be worth checking out. Google a couple clips of it. But the point I'm bringing up is there's a character in the show that you might remember this from back in the day. You remember Far Cry 4? I mean, not Far Cry 4. I do remember
Far Cry.
Far Cry 3.
3, okay.
3 is the one on the islands. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do, because that was the one where you had to go through and like snipe the guys and stuff through the campaign. Do
you remember Voss, the definition of insanity? Do you remember that?
The definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result each time.
So that was played by legendary Michael Mondo, who is in Better Call Saul. And I just remember watching him thinking, that's the guy. He's from Far Cry. That's him. That's my guy. And he was just so killer. He was killer in Far Cry 3 all those years ago, and he's killer in the show. So if you're a fan of his performance in Far Cry, anyway, check it out. I think he is so good in the show. It's scary. And to me, I just draw direct comparisons to him in Far Cry 3. I thought it was interesting, just a little tidbit that I had in my mind that I wanted to kind of go over. But yeah, that's all I got for Better Call Saul. It's okay. It's good. It's all right.
I mean, that's kind of how like I really enjoyed like Sons of Anarchy. It was a lot of fun to watch, but then they came out with the Mongols right afterwards, and or excuse me, not the Mongols. The Mongols. Yeah, not the Mongols. That's a completely different MC. That's an actual MC. The Mayans. Excuse me, the Mayans.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
So they came out with the Mayans, and it was good, but it just didn't have the tenacity that they did in Sons of Anarchy with plot twists. People were dying, things were coming out, and we're just out here like, where's the show gonna go now? Like, you're trying to figure out what's happening next, and there's so much stuff going on. that you're just not ready for it. Whereas the Mayans, it was a little bit more relaxed. They tried to hit more plot points and drag it out a bit. So I was just like, I don't know. But it wasn't a bad show. So I think that's kind of like where I sit with Better Call Saul. Same thing. Like, it's got a good premise. If you really liked Breaking Bad and you wanted a little bit of that prequel, you definitely get it. It's just a little bit slower pace.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Don't go into it expecting the same thing. I mean, some people like to wait for an entire show to come out and then like binge watch the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like that sometimes, depending on the show. So who knows? I might give it a full rewatch. Hope maybe my perception of it will change. Who knows?
Bro, if you want your mind blown, so I was minding my business, doing my little scrolly thing on the news and whatnot, and I came past so for me, I love like flying, traveling, going places, but like a huge fear for me is something happening to the plane. Like I watch movies, like a door opens, somebody get the head sucked off. Like I'm like, whoa, like
I'm right there with you.
So Alaska Airlines had a Boeing 737 going out, right? And like this sucker's it's going down the runway, like gaining speed, getting ready to do its takeoff. And this was on flight 558 from Seattle to I think it was San Diego. And it was tail number November 293 Alpha Kilo. And as it's going down, its prep for its takeoff, it lost the cowl cover to the engine.
That's like on top of it, right?
Off. Yeah, so like you got the massive jet turbines under the wing.
Yeah.
The entire top of that cowl that covers that turbine ripped off.
Immediate terror sets in.
It ripped off, and like they're on primary, getting ready to take off for flight. And it happens, and I was just like, no. And they wound up having to stop. Back in Seattle, obviously, I had to go back around. But could you imagine my mind, bro, trying to wrap around that? That would freak me the hell out.
I'd be scared. I'd be like, well, this is it. Better start, writing my last will and testament. This is it.
I'm saying, I don't know what God you pray to, but start doing it. If you don't believe in nothing, close your eyes, because it's happening.
You better start praying to anybody that'll listen.
Something, dude. I'd be praying to the window next to me. Let me out. I don't want this anymore. Man, I just couldn't stomach it. And like on that same line, I was sitting here giggling because we were talking about like food, stuff like that, nutrition, whatever, as we were watching this show. And it was funny because right after it, we were watching, and stomach acid, like you can basically make it and put it in a jar. You can like dip metal spoons into it, like that we eat with, right? And it will dissolve them. But knock that corn, bro. That stuff turn your butthole into a machine gun. What is in corn, bro?
That's true. That's
some
also
uranium
true.
stuff. What is happening?
It's like, I don't know, because you know what I mean? Like you go to the bathroom, you still be seeing the whole bits of corn in there.
I'm saying, but we can eat spoons and like digest that. Like what's going on with, I don't know. I just thought that was absolutely hilarious, bro.
It is rather interesting that what the body can do and what it can't do. And who knows? It's probably something in corn. I know corn is like a hard to digest food anyway, but it blows my mind that goes in as a piece of corn and comes out as a piece of corn. You know what I mean?
Dude, that don't make sense, because y equals mx plus b and science, and how that input output don't make sense, man.
No, it really doesn't.
Bro, so I'm going to put you a little bit on your toes here.
All right.
What is your favorite pickup line?
My favorite pickup line?
Yeah. Or just a funny one. Do you know a funny pickup line?
I'm trying, but man, I've been out of that game for so long. I used to have a good, I got one to you. I got one. I used this one a long time ago. It's gonna seem fucking lame, but it got me a date. So I remember texting this girl and I said, yo, I just got done watching The Notebook and it made me cry like a baby. I said, I really liked it. And then bro, I don't know why. It was hook, line, and sinker. This was like during the time of The Notebook.
Oh man. Now we got like Age of Adeline with Blake Lively and stuff. We upped our game since then.
Yeah, things have changed a lot since then. But it did give me a date. I did give me a date all them years ago, but
hey, That's kind of a low blow, but I see it. That's like referencing Titanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair. That's like a cheat code for GTA
bro.
life, bro. Man, I got some funny ones that I want to read off to you. Of course, Reddit is my favorite hole in the internet. That's where they're coming from. And so I just wanted to see if you heard any of these.
All right, lay them on me, Chief.
Do you like risks? Because with me, you have a 50-50 chance of catching an STD.
That sounds like some about being a Tinder profile. You know what I mean? Or like a Tinder pickup line.
Saying, or what was that other one? Bumble, Facebook dating, or something like that. Oh, I tell you what, I got one for Facebook dating. Hey, baby, are you a toaster? Because I want to take a bath with you.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh
good.
My gosh, man, I like the dark humor ones. I think they're funny, man. Like that for me would be like how you would know instantly, like our dark humor totally lines up. This is it, bro. This is it.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I love dark humor, and some people can't handle dark humor, but man, to me, the darker the better for the humor. Like I don't know, it's just something about making jokes out of terrible things. I don't know why, it just ends up being hilarious.
Right, like
it's a twisted sense of humor.
Pants, because you're out of this world, and then she turns around and is like, no, they're baseball pants because they're out of your league. Like, oh god, like you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff could just be so funny, man. Like I like seeing what people come up with, and Reddit knocks it out of the park every freaking time, dude.